Do you think Bahamians are too athletically gifted at too many things?
People aren't recognizing the talent. It almost feels like, yeah, I get at this sport, but I still gotta work this second job to stay alive. So it's like, how could I perfect this sport if I still have to do something else?
Like podcasting ain't easy. Like
it's not.
People be thinking you're gonna have a 6-episode running and everything and click, and it's like, no, bro. Like,
yeah. How many episodes Joe Budden up?
600 and something. Mm-hmm. But he didn't really start making money until he was in the 200s.
See?
So,
that's Joe Budden. So
yeah,
that's a whole other
the
thing.
quote unquote power father. So now we're live from the latest talk of the town, the Fanatic Islanders. I was born in the Bahamas, 700 islands, so I guess I was an islander too.
Yeah.
Are you fanatic though? Are you a fanatic?
I think I'm a cool islander. You know, like to sit under the coconut trees, feel the breeze, be at ease. You see what I'm saying?
Erryting Kool,
that's most of the Bahamas.
Oh man. But I know if y'all would introduce, this is the crossover. I think we call this crossover the Island Breeze or the Island Kool.
We can work on it. We can work on it.
I think we gotta go back to the drawing board with the name. I get the drift. I get the idea.
Yeah.
Because it's like
we gotta use AI for that.
I mean, ChatGPT. Actually, I got that on my phone. Hold on. Let's see. What would be a good cross?
Combination names.
Combination.
Yeah, exactly.
How Drake say. What camera on? I on camera 2, 3. Let's get the wide count.
You on all of it.
All right. Mm-hmm. So, according to ChatGPT, what would be a good crossover name for Fanatic Islanders?
Trust me, I tried to do this before on Discord with Clyde. Like out the mud and like Shadow League and Shadow Ram, and they tell me Shadow Mud. So it's like
they say Island Vibes Fusion.
Never. Wait, what?
The Island Vibes Fusion. So we on another episode.
Just Island Vibes again.
Yeah, the Island Vibes Fusion. Who calling me?
What is happening?
Oh man. But yeah, shout out to Kool-It. Episode 100 on Erryting Kool. I can try to bring back the gang.
Come on,
or do something. I mean, I was thinking about doing it documentary style or whatever.
Oh,
but
wow.
Just to like go over or have me sort of lead in with all the different episode points. But how y'all been stepping it up since episode 100 with the classic interviews, making waves. Now people don't have to come to the studio and say this look familiar because of Justin. They can now say it because of Macario and Gadaro. How y'all feel about that?
It's good to see the progression from whence we started. So you gotta keep going. You gotta improve. You don't ever settle. You gotta keep stepping your game up. You gotta keep pushing forward. You're gonna reach people. And the more people you reach, the more you expand your horizons and the better your content. At the end of the day, we put in the content out for y'all.
Yeah, I started watching. Well, I started watching because I always stay abreast of everything that's going on around me. Mm-hmm. And then when I started seeing y'all the style start to switch with the graphic boards and things like that, I was like, check my boys out. And then when I started watching the videos and all this, I was like, y'all in this, bro.
You gotta build your team.
So I was like, on the side, that's like, how this happening? And then they tell me, it's like, all right, fresh.
Build your team.
So how did y'all, because I think we had a conversation, I think early 2022, when it came to, I guess, with the Fanatic Islanders, how to not, I guess, cultivate the show to where you don't have to be talking about sports on a timely basis.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, like what the thing with sports podcasts is if something happened last night, you gotta go talk about it within the next 3 days and they gotta come out then.
Yeah.
And so you don't overburden yourself with that. I was like, yo, maybe figure out a way how to talk about things where it's not really super time sensitive. And boy, did they do it. First they came with the topics. Y'all was doing Did we do topics?
See, no, because like what we
First
used
we
to do.
doing live.
Yeah, it was kind of live. So we had topics, but a lot of the topics were
Stuff that was
tailored
real
to
time.
happen
Okay.
real time. So it was like you said, it's time sensitive stuff, and we were dropping episodes like a week or like 2 weeks. So it was like no one cares about who shot the ball last night.
Yeah.
So we had to get rid. Like you say, we sat down. We I guess looked at it and we was like, okay, how can we improve? And one of the ideas we came up with was, just get rid of the time sensitive topics. Start going over topics that if I watch it today, it's live. If I watch it tomorrow, it's live. If I watch it 2 years from now, it's still relevant. No one cares. Like I said, no one cares who shot the ball last night. No one cares about who ankles broke. Like you say, if you don't do sports within the next 2-3 days,
I think
you
a
don't
lot of
lose it.
sports podcasts sort of do that because they like Old Man and the Three. Like you see, they will talk. They don't think they go by game basis, but they'll go like 2-3 week span basis when they're talking about the state of the NBA. But then you see them have guests, and then they'll talk about different eras or around this time 10-15 years ago, or the current state, like more broader topics and getting insight from the people like who was a part of it.
Yeah, and even with that comes from like a lot of the professional athletes. Like with us, Fanatic Islanders, we just fans. I mean, we played sports, but it's like we still come from a fan perspective. So we try to relate with as much people as possible in that aspect.
Yeah.
And then like Kadero was there because Kadero was editing back then too. So I was like, so it was like, you gotta make it time sensitive. I was like, yeah, you could die if that happens.
Man.
So let's just keep building. Let's write down as much topics as we know, the general topics that could help someone in the future, like you said, and just go from there.
Because what I sort of found out my own journey is like podcast journey. It's like, bro, we was just talking about with a guest. I won't say who the guest name is because we don't know when this is dropping, when that is dropping. Stay tuned to the Fanatic Islanders. Like we was just telling them, like podcasting ain't easy. Like
it's not.
People be thinking you're gonna have a 6 episode running and everything and click, and it's like, no, bro. You be 100 episodes in, and it's still like you just getting better. You still finding your foot, and you still sort of going up with it. And it's like a long haul game, and you might change venues and other specifics, but
how many episodes Joe Budden up?
600 and something. But he didn't really start making money until he was in the 200s.
See?
So, like, that Spotify deal came, like, after, like, 2 something. Yeah.
And
So-
that's Joe Budden. So
Yeah.
that's a whole other
The
thing.
quote-unquote father, or even, like, with Joe Rogan, a little bit different because, even him, because he started podcasting from, like, 08, 09.
Exactly.
And they didn't get, like, boom until 2012, 2013. So it's like, Reagan, take some time, bro. Because this is a whole new platform. There wasn't no rule. Rules are being written and rewritten. And
It's
how
your
to do
own
it.
network.
Yeah. And basically, it ain't no upfront money because you have to build the audience. And it's better if you already famous and you could do all these things. But if you
Exactly.
ain't famous, no. Speaking of that, have people come up to... Well, let me go back to my initial thing. So, the meeting was had. Then next thing I was introduced to was the sound bar. Like why y'all come up with the sound bar? That's not always a good term because when you're in a boat, you ain't want to hit no sound bar because then all your rudders and all the other mechanics underneath the boat can get messed up and then you be stranded.
If you stranded, all you can do is talk it.
And you gotta remember, we're on an island, we ain't on the water.
So how y'all come up with the name of the idea behind the sound bar?
So
And then why y'all just saying name it just a regular Fanatic Islander episode?
Gotta keep the island vibe fusion, bro.
Yes. But it had a different feel. So like when we were talking about it, because we brought Macario's nephew on.
Who that was?
Isaiah Gummins? Yeah. That was like the
That was
first
the
time
first time
we ever
we
did.
were talking about the Zoom one. We ain't even talking about the.
Yeah,
Oh,
ain't even in
okay,
person
yeah.
yet.
Because
So-
I think I was here for the first
You was here for the first one because that was
Yeah.
That was the first soundbar, but this was the first.
Just
soundbar.
Lifton was the first one, right?
Yeah, he was the first soundbar
okay.
we did in person.
Okay.
Because like when we was going through it, and we came up with it because like it had a different feel from it. Because at the time we were doing the main episodes, and this was the first time we like brought on a guest. So it was like, okay, well, it doesn't feel right to include this as a main episode because it may get lost in the main episode. You know, you may skip a couple episodes, but we wanted people to see it, and you know, once you see episode 1, everyone's clicking on episode 1.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, soundbar episode 1, Isaiah Cummins. Just like I said, it had a different feel from the main episode we were doing, and I was to signify the first guest that we've actually had on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you know, with COVID and whatnot, we kind of the soundbar kind of went on the afterburner until we brought Just Lifton on when we revamped the in studio.
Yeah, because I think that's when it got into the zygos of the
interviews.
You know, I did the public because then after that, Chantel came on. Like that was the second one, or
no? Ellie was the second one.
Yeah, Ellie was the second one.
Who Ellie?
Ellie.
Who Ellie?
Cooking Ellie. Sport.
Who actually where the food is?
Who actually where the food is?
Oh,
your friend Ellie.
Listen, man, yeah, we got a fridge now, and we got to figure out what that's still doing. Ain't no more excuse. I've been waiting for these tuna sandwiches for the longest. I ain't think it's work either. All right, go right around the table. Yeah, so here, I can't wait until the. This is part of the Fanatic Islanders set. like you know.
That's really good during gas week.
Yeah. So, if anybody always wondering why we have little kids in the background, we're developing
for the future.
The future generation of podcasters here at Children Youth Studios. And I should have sort of added that when I did the promo for the studio or whatever with Zoom about the job.
Bring the kids, man.
Yeah, you can bring the kids. They can stay inside there, and then it's just live. We're not a daycare, but we're just a house of creativity.
Okay. Okay.
No children labor laws. They're paid. They work for their food. They work for their drink.
Fair.
And they help out.
Most definitely. So, but the soundbars, it was the turning point to where it added additional momentum. And people, especially because people tend to watch social media clips more than they actually watch a full episode. And then when people see recognizable faces, then they be like, oh, what this about?
And click again.
So and then y'all just bringing in the guests, and I say, check my boy some out. The chip off the block. And then I was even more excited when they did episodes when I didn't need the video. That's how I could go do other things.
I still appreciate you being there, sir.
I just make sure for them important days I was here. I be, here. So like when both times when Cadero's flag football team came, I was here. And when they won, I needed to be here. Because certain people was talking a lot of trash. And don't think I forget. They know what it is. And then the other people who is be coming in here saying things look familiar now. It ain't because of me no more. It's them. They the superstars now.
Yeah, with the guest choice has been more.
But what's been the guest feedback after, I guess, filming and then the podcast coming up?
With it, I feel like they didn't expect for us to have all of that, like all that depth with each episode. It feels like they thought it was going to be something where it's like, oh yeah, surface level questions, in and out, and that's it. But with that, it was like, no, we're going to take our time, because with each guest, it's almost like we select you for a reason. Like you in a particular field or specific sport that helps and we use them to help grow the knowledge of that sport or whatever scenario we can to help, I guess, just bring awareness in the bombers, because a lot of the time people are like, oh, I didn't even know that was going on, or this and that, and just need it to where it's just more awareness, and that's how we build.
And everyone's story is different. So
Yeah, most
even if some of them are in the same field, everyone's story, everyone's rise to success is different. So you have to hear what everyone's saying, because you, like I said, you may have a similar story, but your story won't be exactly the same. So you take aspects from their story, and at the end of the day, the most common theme is they just kept pushing. They never gave up.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, because what I have seen, because it almost, you could feel the shift with the show because people might say, oh, well, anybody could talk about sports. But when it's something where what I've been learning, especially in this year, the importance of building a niche and understanding the niche. So it's like, okay, we talk about sports, but then let's bring people, like if he's in the top athletes and like the biggest leads, it's like, bro, these athletes that live in my community, and they have stories to tell, and it's like painting a picture of what sports is like in the Bahamas, and not just to say they only compete in the Bahamas, but these international athletes. So you might get, all right, well, a track athlete that could compete in the Olympics, but because how small our community is, it's easy to get that person because, oh, I know they cousin, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Versus you live in a city with 6 million people, and that might be harder to pull off.
Ain't got time to talk to you.
Yeah. So like, okay, so the introduction of Prince.
You gotta talk about the subtraction of something.
The subtraction.
I mean, you can say the introduction of Prince, because Prince came on. Prince came on in one of the season 1 episodes, right?
Okay.
And season 2 was another turning point for the podcast. So Prince came on in one of the season 1 episodes, when I couldn't make it. Right?
Oh,
we had because remember the couch. We had the couch was over there. Chris was I think Chris was recorded that day. So the couch was over there. That's when we had the time. We actually had the time on the thing. So every 30 minutes,
we even upgrade.
That was wild. That was wild.
They used to have 1 camera angle. Then they got 2 camera angles. That's 3.
But
3 camera angles.
Prince came on. I don't know why I couldn't make it, but I couldn't make it that day. So
that's because you just be taking on the world.
Someone got to. But asked him if he was free that day, and then he came on. So little did we know that was a good audition, like for future things. Yeah, because Kadeem's a busy man, so
he's managing the ice.
But the thing is, you got to give him his flowers too. So we're not here without him.
Yeah, of course.
But he got busy within season 2, so he just had other priorities and stuff he had to take care of. So Prince was a natural transition into it. Yeah. But he's still knowledgeable. He's still knowledgeable about the different sports and different sports. So, and he brings a different kind of feel. So he looks at things from a different point of view than me, Makar, and even Kadeem. But Prince solid. I don't know where he is today though, but Prince solid.
Yeah, because I surprised Prince ain't pull up today.
He had farmers market.
He's be busy, man.
He had a farmers market today.
Okay. So with the introduction of Prince and then y'all carrying this over, obviously y'all just celebrated y'all 100th episode. That was like a couple weeks ago or so. How did the whole concept of X marks the spot come into play? Because like when you first was telling me about this, I was like, all right, okay, how we gonna shoot this? I'm like, all right. I mean, when y'all set it up, I can figure it out.
Basically, what were you doing? He's doing cool sport.
Yeah, so we had like different segments within the episode itself, right?
Yeah.
So we had cool sports, you may not have heard of. We had like random sports fact.
Yeah.
We had like sports rants, but like they were within the episode itself. So they like how we were shooting now, we just do it and we like have them separate. So it just came to, we had like ideas for like different things. We have a bunch of names of like a bunch of different stuff in case we want to use names later, but just a different segment which is a little bit more interactive. It isn't like a talking kind of thing. It's almost like a wait and see kind of thing. Okay, well, the shooting darts. If you have not watched the X Marks the Spot episode, you know where to find it. It's on the channel. Just click it, watch it. We're up to episode at the time of this dropping, we should be up to episode 10.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of money.
You ain't lose that much money. But it was basically building a game show that's all purpose. So you wouldn't have to be somewhere it's like, okay, this one getting dry, let's do something new. It's like somewhere you could always have a new game every time you play. So, and money involved too, so you gotta be serious.
And we were running out of like cool sports because it wasn't.
Yeah.
There was
because we did have it was a segment about cool sports and then introduce and talk about or things like that. But I think transitioning and reinvention is always key because life changes, certain dynamics change. Even with your audience may hunger for changes because then it's like, okay, well, you could have how y'all broke up with regular episodes and having a sidebar and then having an X mark the sport. That's potential for have a sponsor to be like, all right, blah blah blah. Brings to you X mark the spot.
I don't know why Pirates are now so slapping up. X mark the spot. That's perfect for that. The treasure chest could have your logo on it.
Listen, the new promo is gonna sort out all of that when I finally get some time to finish it.
Wow.
No, it's because it's busy time, bro. It's like
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Go to get that money.
Yeah. So and
So you have time to keep up with your show. Let's ask you that question.
I don't. Because Erryting Kool. The episode I recently dropped.
That's true.
So Erryting Kool, the episode I recently dropped, I recorded in August, bro. And I just was sitting on it. And I was like, I ain't put out one in a minute. Let me drop this.
Okay.
Then when that came to 95, I was like, all right, let me start sort of aligning with what guests I want to have and what things I'm going to speak about before I hit 100. So, yeah. So it's like, all right, 96 and 97, I got to have mental health something. Because I normally do a mental health episode around this time every year.
Okay.
Or at least have one therapist per year. So in 20, did I do one last year? We sort of did, 2 for cartoons. We sort of did one semi because around that time, our November episode last year was when Jason David Frank passed it.
Yeah.
So sort of kind of, but the years previously, we always had, I think 21, I had 2, because I had Christina and Aaliyah 1 year. And there was 2 licensed therapists. And then 2020, I had Harrison Thompson. So, just getting up, okay, I gonna have to do a mental health episode. Then what is happening, and I don't know if this is happening for y'all, like, for the last 2 years, I was thinking about retiring Erryting Kool. Just being like, all right, we done run this course. I done changed the show like 4 times already.
Too much, eh?
So, no, it wasn't too much, but it's like, all right, to where I didn't feel like inspired by, okay, what else I could talk about. Because it's like, okay, like year 1 was, we have no place to travel, so I just pop it up on a bunch of different places. By year 2, it was like pandemic, and we was recording in PG House. And that year, and going into year 3 was crazy because
that's a takeoff, yo.
Not even a takeoff because it took off like the first year I had episode 7, I had Rodney Monk on my show. So it was like, but I think early on I already getting the big interviews.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, I got to master interview style. I keep things fresh and then try new things. So year 2 was just a bunch of relationship things. That's when you see all the gals coming off. That's where behind the scenes, all kind of craziness is happening during the pandemic. So by year 3, it was more so I changed styles a little bit to where it's like I started, instead of being a group discussion, it turned into more interviews. To where I sort of, even though I still had interviews in year 1 and 2, I cut back on the group discussions because it was like, okay, yeah.
Only so much, dog.
Yeah, and it's like we was into this sort of
Unless you bring
corner.
Unless you bring in a different group every single time.
Yeah,
like
but
it
it devolved into relationship stuff, and I got tired of talking about relationships.
For sure.
Because I was like, bro,
how many times you talk about the same thing?
Huh?
How many times you could talk about the same thing?
Yeah. And then it's like, bro, for me, I'm like, but I ain't the best person that with most relationships. I get in a bunch of situationships and a lot of long situationships and short-term relationships. So I ain't no relationship.
You could vet now if you want to.
Whatever. Yeah, so it's like,
you would talk about it.
yeah. So it's like, okay, and then it was like, because around year 3, I had Lincoln being on the show. And then, yeah. And that's why I like to talk with controversial guests. So during the time we had Travolta, we had this person.
With the Rogan mindset.
Yeah, and I still have that mindset. So by the time I came here and me and Chris decided to do this thing together, I was like, all right, we got a serious spot. I didn't see the vision. I gonna bring out Bustle the Bacon. So that's why I think the first episode I did now was with Das Quick. Yeah. So it was like, okay, and then we can build. So people sort of see, okay, the aesthetic or whatever. And then we had Well and Then Funny, which to this day, the clip from him here is like, got like over 50,000 views on my TikTok. Yeah. So yeah, I just made the bed, do the thing. So after all of these feats, it was like, all right, right about to retire, Erryting Kool, revamp with Mother Sick. And then by that time, I think, yeah, I had 2 of her cartoons, and I was like, I always wanted a multi-mic show, which other codes, and we just talk about stuff. We found a niche to talk about, so I'm like, all right, cool. But then, people just keep on hitting me up. Oh, bro, I want to come on the pod. Oh, this and that and that. And that's how a lot of the last couple guests, I've been reaching out. They've been reaching out to me, and it's like, all right, come.
Yeah.
So, and then 2, I was like, I ain't getting paid to do this. So I ain't gonna rush. Feel like, oh, I gotta drop an episode every week. Like, bro, I ain't gonna drop when I drop. So, and then people are gonna watch it.
Regardless.
Like it. The James Darling episode that happened during the summer was big. Had news outlets hitting them up to do news reports about it. So it's like, when I come, it's like,
yeah.
And so now,
I would say though,
yeah.
Facebook, loving this nigga videos, bro. I don't understand.
Yeah, because I boost them, but then it's like,
Everybody like.
yeah. No, but this would get me in the last boosted post for Facebook. They was like, it was a Tool for Cartoons episode. And then, I can get to Tool for Cartoons and what I'm about to say. It was a Tool for Cartoons episode. I boosted because I like to say salacious things. Like I said, bush medicine is a part of Obia. People disagree. I'm going to bring someone. No. I can bring someone on the show to verify and give you all the history behind that song. Because I have interviewed them before for another content piece I did, like in here too, when Christopher Davis came and tell us who was John Canoe. And we met, off mic, we talked about what I mentioned that episode. But people was like, this host never knows what they're talking about, what they're doing this. So I'm like, all y'all is watch.
He needs to go to church.
Whatever. They always talking foolishness, this and that. And then when I showed it to my podcast mates, they was like, oh, people actually be watching.
Exactly. That's the main thing.
So it's like, you get surprised by that. But after episode 100, I gonna revamp a lot of things with Erryting Kool. But Mother Sick is just me venting. When I feel inspired and coming out, what I started doing with Mother Sick is actually filming it. Because it's just with audio only for a long time. But when I started filming it, me by myself, it was like, all right, I like this. Even though it's more work, it's not like how I used to record them with Mother Sick. It's just come home after work, I frustrated, and then let it all out. Yeah. Versus it's now like,
you have to think about something to talk
about.
No,
not really. It's just that I got to set all this up to record.
No, I mean it's unlike thinking about the stuff like in your other shows where you have to.
No, it's the same process. Yeah, and as Clickbait Roddy Monkey told me, he's like, bro, you gotta understand your audience. He was like, wait, I know my people. They like, if I just talk information, they ain't gonna react. But if I put a little key inside it,
exactly,
and things like that, they're gonna enjoy it like
Throw in a couple shots of that, a little bit of this.
Yeah, like even what we just did with Homegirl, the last salacious things. That's real life. but
That's
y'all
real
clip
talk.
that and react to it is gonna go. So that's how I break it down. Two of our cartoons is an ensemble show. I think that can be the biggest if we start recording more with that show. Probably
Take
be the
off.
biggest podcast in the Bahamas, bro. Like I just feel like that because it's like what we talking about and how I connected myself with that niche, like not just on the podcast side, but cosplaying and then on the gaming community here, and then how we branching over overseas.
Yeah.
That could take off. So like I do with Mother Sick for me. I do Erryting Kool for the Bahamian people and other people that want to hear Bahamian stories, and then two of our cartoons is it's just me being a child again.
That's for your niche.
Yeah, that's for the niche. That's for us to get that money. You feel me? So
All right.
that was probably like a 10-minute explanation type of thing. But yeah.
We wanted to know.
But yeah. So and then I like how me and Chris was talking about like how like really take it off with the guests. Y'all just had Jimmy on, which was big. Mark Fit reposting it. This next guest gonna be big, and I was like, bro, that's what we created the space for, and that's what that was the vision from the beginning. It's like, all right, and that's what my mindset behind. That's why I created two of our cartoons too, because I was like, okay, we got a space. It's multiple things you could do with it. Let me create something else to show it off.
Might as well go as big as you can.
So it's like,
and everything looks different too.
Yeah, so I was like, even
how you set it up. Like,
Yeah.
You think in a different room.
yeah, so it's like, even with Archie and Gabe, we like my two of our cartoons co-hosts.
Okay.
I didn't meet them. I just met them last year, and we did we was put together as a panel for the Geek Out.
Yeah.
And we was in a group. And after we did the panel, Archie was like, we should hang out. And I was like, oh, this was good. We should do a podcast. And it was like, what? And it's like, yeah. And then we brainstormed all kind of different names. And then I was up, get my car washed on Saturday. And it was like two of our cartoons. And I was like, but it's fire. And then we pitched this to them. And they was like that. And I came up with the whole brand and the whole aesthetic, went the whole course with imagery and things like that, the feel of it, and then boom. So like, and then they had to learn the podcast. So then I had to teach them on the podcast.
Yeah.
So you can't be too quiet, but then you can't just talk and don't engage. So it's like, once they got the hang of it, like how we are now, it's like a 3-mind weave. So, that's why I feel like, and they took characters because they're lesbians. They
okay.
So like they're actors.
Yeah.
They act in the pirate ship. Plus they do like stuff at the Dundas and
I
things
just
like
gonna
that.
ask.
So like so it's like they're colorful personalities. I'm already colorful myself, so it's like
Anything could happen.
yeah. So it's just me managing them and putting us in the right space, and then we'd be good to go. But so on the sports tip, it's so much different things that has happened since I guess since the start of 2020 when y'all started, especially locally here, sports wise, like how y'all feel like athletics have grown in the time that y'all have been reporting on local athletes and even Bahamians that are competing internationally in their various disciplines.
I feel like it ain't grow enough, but
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah, it's not growing, but it's definitely more exposure to it. So I think a lot more people, like when people are telling their stories about dealing with Bahamian sports,
The federations.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
everyone's story is okay. They don't get enough support. The government doesn't get them enough support. So
Yeah.
the exposure is getting there. So, and I think that's one thing I'd like to see to continue, like the more exposure, so that they get to the point where there's like, hey, here's money, do what y'all need to do. Yeah, so like, I keep calling. Yeah, exactly. You gotta keep calling them out. It hasn't grown. Like Mugar said, it hasn't grown. The plan is for it to grow, but you gotta expose it. I guess shame is the ultimate motivator. So
Has any federations like reached out to y'all to be like, Oh, I mean, like what y'all said.
I mean, the track and field did actually. No, they didn't respond to us, but they responded in a way that was like, okay, we understand that this is an issue. We can handle this. So,
so they put a press statement because of what?
no, it was more like it was like a small circle type of thing. Like we can handle this thing. So that was a good positive thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even on that point where you give more exposure to where it leads to growth, I feel like with that as well, we also can give people inspiration to do things themselves and to get themselves to a level where it's like, okay, maybe I can reap things for myself. And then even if I take off, maybe they'll look and then give to me. But who knows? They might get bigger than the federations themselves and go international and do something big. So time will tell, but hopefully something like that does happen. That'd be cool.
Do you think Bahamians are too athletically gifted at too many things? And that's why, because I was just thinking this now, right? Like, every discipline is having the same complaint. But you would see some institutions, they would favor, like, let's say if it's a university, right? Mm-hmm. They know they're strong. Let's say swimming, like their best programs is like, okay, like how you would have a football school or you would have a basketball school. You would concentrate more. You would have a budget for your athletics department, which certain sports is your bread and butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Do y'all feel like we have too many bread and butters, or because even we would think they would highly invest in the track and field because that's what we're prestigiously known for.
That's my thing.
But it's like that ain't looking like the case.
I wouldn't say it's too many bread and butters. I feel like it's something that where people aren't recognizing the talent it almost feels like, yeah, I get at this sport, but I still got to work this second job to stay alive. So it's like, how can I perfect this sport if I still have to do something else to maintain living? Like, I don't understand like how they expect someone to be great at something when they have to do so many other things. Because if you look internationally, people doing one thing and that's it. They making their living off that and doing all that stuff. So I don't know.
Is that the only case for the Bahamas, or you think that's a Caribbean Islander thing?
Probably a Caribbean Islander thing, I think.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, they invest in their athletes, but they probably invest more in their track athletes because that's their bread and butter. Yeah, but I was saying maybe we have too many bread and butters. That's why the government may be stretched thin.
We are a talented group of people, correct? But you don't have a facility, but you don't even need any facilities. You just need a facility, love a facility.
And I don't think it's the stretch thin. It's just I don't think they're doing anything.
Yeah.
You could say they could be a little bit intimidated on the amount of things that are going on, and in order to, I guess, specialize in those stuff, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because I think they with especially the Ministry of Youth Sports and Culture, their problem probably is, where do we start? Because it's so much. Because okay, if you start with track, people maybe other disciplines may say, well, okay, y'all are always looking at track. Well, if you start with basketball, y'all only do this because dudes in the NBA.
Yeah.
If you start with, let's say, sailing, this because of this group or whatever.
The issue is they actually got to start.
Yeah,
it don't matter when
I think they just got to bite the bullet.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Even if you equally distribute it, like yes, and that's still not fair because you have, let's say you have like 1,000 athletes in track, you have like 500 in basketball, you have like 200 and things. So the money doesn't equate to the same. They could also do a percentage of it. So each sport, each person in the sport you have a certain percentage. They could break it up like that.
It's gotta be based on performance too. They can't just give money and all of that playing around.
Oh man, I gotta give this to my cousin.
Because like any athlete, any parent or any athlete, they want their kids to succeed. They're gonna send their kids off.
Yeah.
Rarely you gonna see. Okay, well, not really, but
I think that's another reason why they don't invest too, because they're like, well, the best going to always going to leave and then come back and rep.
But like say the country like the bride. The country likes the bride.
Give them something to come back for.
So even if you send like you know how much people like we've like played baseball with that actually didn't finish school over here because they just went off. Yeah. But I'm saying is you have that. Right? They go off, they play baseball in high school in the States, and they go college transition. But the government quick to, oh yeah, we got this athlete doing this athlete doing that. But they didn't cultivate it. Right? Only thing was the seed was produced here.
Yeah.
They use another soil, another water. All the nutrients came from elsewhere. So only thing came here is the seed. But they have to be able to cultivate it. Find some way to cultivate it. You find some way to cultivate it, then you have people less complaining about it. And the more people are going to complain about it is the people who are out of Nassau, out of the main islands, right? So the people coming from those farming islands coming to Nassau thinking that it's a better way to get into the sport. When lo and behold, it's worse.
That's a serious thing.
Yeah, because what I often see when it goes to anything in the Bahamas, they always feel like when it comes to government funding, they always feel like one entity is getting more than them, but then if you go to that entity, they feel like they ain't getting enough.
Yep.
So it's like this constant thing, because even on the culture side, like people that are into regattas and let's say rake and scrape, they feel like junkaners get all the money, but then junkaners will feel like, bro, we don't
get no money.
So it's this constant. What is I enough? Guess the mean to what I think probably it needs to be a plan constructed to be like, okay, this is how we're gonna take athletics. All right, what is thriving now? Okay, we have. Bahamian, well, you don't really have many you don't have many Bahamian athletes going pro while being on home soil. So it's like, okay, well, how can we? I think the thinking probably need to be like, how can we sort of better facilitate that?
You can't, because like I said, if they've made it far enough to go to UB and they're competing in any UB team and they go off to a tournament, they immediately get offered a scholarship. Like if they're good enough, they'll get offered a scholarship and leave UB. So it's like, why am I staying here when they're offering me more and they're offering me a better opportunity over there? It's like, how do you beat that? They have to figure out a way to beat that.
Or you can embrace that system.
You go what?
You can embrace the system. Like
what system?
Priming up your athletes so someone else could take them and develop them.
So you mean in a way to where you get your athletes back?
Yeah. But I'm saying if you can't do the legwork, okay, bring them up to a certain speed and then sell them off and then be like, okay, once you get this.
So use a high contractor.
Yeah. Makes sense. No, it makes sense. Like
the farm system.
Like you might as well turn in the farm system. Okay, we got these athletes, we can develop them.
And you become an ambassador.
Yeah. And then
it does make sense, but I don't want to be what I can turn into is like Bahamians, we historically just pirates. Like, someone can turn.
I always say it.
Someone can turn the way up, they making money off.
Yeah,
and they ain't coming to the country, they ain't coming to the people.
Yeah. No, but that's where I feel like
they be like, oh yeah, agent.
I feel like some of the track clubs like that now.
Yeah,
they are priming up
for sure.
So like you priming up these athletes, you don't have these relationships with these universities.
The college come to you. I want to offer this person a scholarship.
I want 10K, but this.
Yeah.
That's why you better give me that.
Yeah. That's why when BISS come, they like, calm down, but you ain't running this way. Yeah. Come on, bro. Come on.
Because they didn't know, right? I don't have these relationships or whatever. But then it's like, bro, you gotta bite the bullet somewhere. Exactly. Like, is it
maybe not? Maybe
you have to. You can't do it.
It's like you gotta do something.
Start over.
You guys can't. I know. It's like okay.
Slash and burn. Like the FtI&x, you gotta slash and burn. You literally have to start over. You really have to start the system over. You need an Aaron Yeager.
Yeah.
Y'all going too far.
No, but I agree. You gotta destroy 80% of what already exists. Yeah.
I'm only wasting Obama's getting better.
Oh Lord.
Legit.
Yeah, but it's too much cronies in the way of that, bro. On all levels.
For sure.
So because it's like you would knock somebody down, but it's someone who's been waiting for years to get in that position to do the same thing. So
that's why I was telling people they be like, oh, I can't wait till Brave them go. And
no.
They say, but Brave them got Brave Junior. Coming, bro. People.
You have people in their 50s and never get a chance.
Bro, literally all it is people have other people in control of their lives, but they in control of their lives, but that's all it is. Say, oh, I gotta wait for this one. Why you gotta wait for that one to do what you want to do? That don't make no sense.
Yeah, and then a lot of times it's to do exactly what was done to you, to get in the position and do this.
That's all.
It's a cycle.
Yeah. It's exactly so.
It's a cycle.
It's just a bunch of hypocrisy.
See, like I say, they feel like most people want other people to be in control of their lives, but when you ask for them, what solutions can they see? what solutions they could use to make things better when they get in them positions? Yeah, they have no answer. So it's like, would you even try it for? Why you even here?
Most definitely. But this has been, I don't know, how much minutes are we in? As you see, like
50?
Huh?
Okay.
All right. We are not daddy daycare. Even though we should probably.
That's how it's it.
Oh man. But
they hit the ceiling. Fine.
What's the next steps that y'all want to? I mean, I guess we probably get into this probably on a Fanatic Islanders show episode where y'all say what y'all want to do for 2024. Actually, what big thing? Well, the Olympics next year, right?
Yeah. 2024, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's the biggest like sporting event of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So what y'all have plans around that and anything else?
But I didn't even think that far yet.
Because Olympics basically.
I've been thinking like years in
like
advance, but I
nine.
ain't really being that specific. I know Bogadero, but no.
Because you might be like, if you play your cards right, get a situation where you travel with the national team to the Olympics or something.
But that sound catastrophic. I don't know if I would do that.
Because I think it's in Paris this year.
Because when you coming home, they be like, oh my God, we don't have a seat for you.
No, yeah. I mean, you might as well pay your own way for true. Because then they'd be like, oh yeah, I get you straight.
Never get straight.
No, sometimes you get straight, but it's some hoodwink type of situation or whatever. Like,
you sit at the back of the plane, bro.
Back of the plane, or
in the bathroom,
or you have to share a room with 5 other people, or something.
I ain't into that.
Like, so I really don't know how people in government in certain instances be dealing with logistics, because it's like, but ain't no way you can sit down and say, wait, yeah,
they don't be dealing with the logistics, right? They just be like, let's save the government money and give this way the worst experience of all time.
No, they don't be saying save the government. They say, wait, let me pocket some, and then
I mean that's how they present it.
Nah, because boy, the hook and the crookedness and things like that be going on. Yeah. But then you realize, okay, how certain things is happening in the Bahamas when, the average income is whatever. But it's like, wait, hold on, how y'all always balling out and things like that? They crooking and doing all kind of different things.
Yeah, but I can't even think too deep on that because that could just hurt my head.
Yeah. But
sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I happy to be on this journey with y'all as y'all grow this entity, popping in and out at different episodes and things like that. And I'm actually going to probably get tagged in the near future about the Fanatic Islanders, and it's like, hold on, that's not Cadero. But most definitely, Cadero is outside being a great father.
Yeah.
And I won't stretch this on too long. But this has been a great episode of the... Oh, no, what we was calling this?
Island Vibes Fusion.
Island Vibes Fusion.
You can never forget.
Never forget. But stay tuned. Watch more episodes on the Original People Network of Erryting Kool Tool for cartoons, as well as with Mother Sick. Go on Fanatic Islanders and watch all their content, sandbars, regular episodes, and X mark the spot.
Yeah, you see.
For all these great things, like, share, subscribe on both channels, because we're going to be putting this episode on both channels. And stay tuned for more content because we might do all kind of crazy things inside this place.
Of course.
And if you see it look familiar, just be like, "Boy,
Embrace it.
embrace it." All these we doing crazy things there and then on different channels. Like our 2 channels, subscribe our 2 channels.
That's all they saying, man.
And share the wealth. We need these viewers and this exposure. And if you have potential branding and situation deals,
We're landing no doubt.
Are any final words from Kadero before?
On to bigger and better. You know, it's only way they so distracted.
Yeah.
But gonna improve. Both as long as we're here, the group of us, we're gonna get better. We're gonna put out the content for you. Y'all just gotta let us know what y'all want.
Exactly. And then what I was gonna say, if you want to sponsor any of these content pieces, feel free to email or message any one of us. The message is gonna get who it needs to get to.
Yep.
And then we go from there.
Yeah.
But as you can see, how much more big faces we gotta bring on. It's been combined together. Almost 500 different episodes.
Yeah.
Probably more. If I really sit down and count it.
And by
Or whatever.
comment, but I know y'all be. I know Bahamians just don't
Y'all
like follow
watch,
instructions.
man.
They know they would talk. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't get it.
Yeah, and if you want to come on, I guess,
Say something.
say something, come on. And then you come on, just say, act like you've been here before.
Hold on, what that mean?
This ain't
how
look
he was
familiar.
cut up.
This is about to soon not look familiar because I about to redecorate inside it again. I
Say,
did
act like you've been
promising.
here before.
I just ordered a couple of things to spruce up the place or whatever, and change out these posters.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank y'all for joining us again on the next audio adventure. And like I say, subscribe to all our pages. Follow us on all the social media platforms for more of this great content. See y'all later.
Yep.